Hello, my model citizens. It's Brian with BG Model Workshop. Hey, we're doing a final on our Aries Styrene sponsored motorcycle group build. I always like group builds that help me push my envelope of comfort when it comes to building. And this was it, because this was pushing all kinds of envelopes. We're doing the AMT Parts Pack Edition. This is the double dirt bike kit. And we just did one. We wanted to do one, see how it was to build it, see if there's any problems, stuff like that. And honestly, there really wasn't anything. If you're probably a beginning model builder, there might be a couple of issues that you run into. But the real thing was plotting out the build. Not having built one of these little guys before, I was a little concerned about the process of painting compared to actual assembly and stuff like that. But we did get it figured out. We did, when we were building it, we did all of the chassis, I should say frame, chassis, the frame, which has the tank halves and all of this gobbledygook on the side here, and then the shock and springs, and then the chain mechanism and all that stuff. So sprockets, I guess, is the word we want to use. Oh, and rear fender, and that's all molded into one half, and then the other half has the other half. So the only thing that I found that was a hindrance was that we had to put the front forks and handlebar assembly in before we could actually paint the thing, and that made for a little bit of a masking nightmare. But we got around that by using blue tack, and that was a lot of fun because that helps us get around all the crooks and grannies and get in between all the areas we need to and stuff like that, and mold around curves without any issue at all. So the painting process was, oh, you know what, I'm not centered here, hang on a second, there we go, never let it be said I wasn't centered. The painting process was we just primed the whole thing in Tamiya light primer gray, and then we went back and masked off the areas we were going to do in red, and then went back and shot the whole thing in flat black, and then came back and reversed our masking to do the tanks, and then went back and actually brush painted the rest of everything else. The fenders, those are brush painted. You can probably tell the spokes are brush painted, but the engine and everything else is all brush painted. And because the frame was flat black, we just went over some of the highlight areas on the frame with some gloss black to help bring up some shine on that area there and make it look like it's freshly restored or something like that, perhaps. The wheels and tires, we did cut off the locating pins and then sandwich those together so that all the spokes lined up, because I like that look better than having the spokes offset. Because of how they're molded, they're actually pyramids. Well, not really pyramid, but triangularly shaped. So the back side of the spokes are thicker than the front side of the spokes, and that really showed up when everything was offset. So we just went ahead and did it this way. I like the look of it. It was a little difficult to brush paint the rim because I didn't have that masked off, so I do have a couple little hiccups here and there, but I can fix those. And then I think for the gauge pods up here, these little guys, I do have a couple of small little gauge decals. I'm going to see if I can't dig out of the decal stash and then put those on there for the tack and the speedometer. The bike does not come with any headlight or tail light, so it's not street legal, but who cares? It does have a cute little kickstand, which we actually thought was the leg of a bug floating around because it had broken off the part street and it was floating around inside the box there. We thought that was actually the leg of some weird-ass bug. But it was a lot of fun to put together and paint. I of course, have the second one ready to go. And the idea we're kind of sporting for that guy is possibly doing military style. Trying to find a 1/25th scale rifle or something like that we can attach in a rifle pod and then make our own saddlebag, stuff like that. I think that would be a lot of fun. Kind of like the messenger bikes they had back in the World War II. Another way we could go would be probably a barn find. Charlie Mack is doing some really awesome barn find style kits with some of the bikes he's building right now, and those are very inspiring, so that might be kind of a fun thing to do as well. I know Chopper Baldwin would probably love it if we did a Rusty Krusty bike, right? But our friend Dan Doan, he's our local kit historian here, and he supplied us with a little bit of information about this particular model kit. And it is indeed the Yamaha DT1. It's the 250 series, and it was produced first for the MPC 1974/76 Dodge pickup kits, as well as the Dodge van kits for the same era. I guess those kits were kind of like an adventure kit series. And then also he did confirm that it was part of the 1972 long bed Chevy stepside kit released in '74. That's the kit that I remember seeing on my dad's workbench, and whatever happened to that, I don't know. But the dirt bikes, I remember seeing those dirt bikes. They were still on the trees. They weren't assembled. They were on the trees, never assembled. I always wanted to get my hands on those things, and never did. They're lost to history now. So I was very, very happy to find that they actually produced these parts pack kits for these bikes. So thanks for that information, Dan. I appreciate that greatly. And I say, if you find yourself looking at one of these parts pack kits, either on eBay or at a store, get it, grab it, take them. They're fun to build. They're going to be great little accessories, especially if you want to do like a garage or shop scene. This would be a great little bit of detail to put in the background there. However you want to build it, rusty crusty or bright and shiny, would be a nice little addition for the background, or possibly if you're doing a desert scene or something like that. So there you got it, guys. There's a little Yamaha DT1 250 all done up and ready to go. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you a little bit later on. I also want to say welcome to our new subscribers. I hope you guys like what you're seeing and stick with us. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later on. Bye now.